Hi everyone, welcome to the United Region. It's so good to be able to speak to all of you again today. And today I want to talk to you about something that is very personal to me and also that I think is, very important. I had meant to talk with you this past month, but unfortunately, as you can imagine, life can be pretty busy for anyone. I'm sure a lot of you, if not all of you out there, can relate. And I just was struggling with other things. Fortunately, this month celebrates a very important topic which can relate to what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to talk to you about autism, and I meant to talk about it in April because it was Autism Awareness Month. But I realized that it is just as important to think about this month as it was last month, if not all your life. And the reason that it is an important topic, at least I think of, to explore this month is because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, if memory serves. And, autism is a very complicated subject involving the mind and the identity, at least in my experience. Now, for those of you just joining us for the first time, or maybe you're unfamiliar with the word, you may be wondering, what is autism? Well, I can't say. What I mean to say is, while there is a textbook definition, autism means many different things to many different people. It's not something you are, but it has taken me some time, at least for me, to understand personally that autism isn't something you learn to master or control, and it's something that you face and learn to accept as a part of you. It's not what or who you are, but it can be a beautiful part of who you are, just one part. Unfortunately, it can provide challenges, barriers. Some people with autism, they may not be able to understand body language. That's actually what autism is. It is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects how a person can think, or how shall I say this, see the world around them. Not everyone sees the world differently, as I'm sure all of you are aware. But it can be hard to be in sync or on the same level as other people. It's taken me a great amount of time just to get to where I am, at being able to relate to people, know how to talk to them. I've had help. I had great teachers. I've had a wonderful family, and I've had I've had caseworkers in high school and mental health specialists I see, and they've helped me understand what challenges come from having autism and what come from just being human. And having autism is, now that I think about it, really not that different than being human. It's really just one more challenge to overcome, maybe. And it can be complicated. That we don't always know what to do naturally. Some people, their instincts, they just tell them naturally to do something at a certain age, or how to react to a social situation. But sometimes people with autism, or people with disabilities on the autism spectrum, we don't always, how shall I say this? Not all instincts are inherited. Like being able to pick up on social cues, as I mentioned, sarcasm, things of that nature. Being able to pick up on patterns, or knowing, being interested in sports or certain problem-solving skills. Some of those are acquired or taught and learned. It can be a little challenging, and it can be hard to relate to or talk to people. It can especially make it hard to be comfortable in your environment, especially if that's not where you see yourself. But you don't always choose where we're raised or we're born. We can choose to make the best of where we live, and we can choose to still be independent. Sometimes we grow into that independence. Sometimes all it needs is a little encouragement. So we can push ourselves after people show that we matter. When we have a good enough life to wake up every day and go to work, then we can push ourselves to kind of be even more involved in the world. Yeah, I've had to learn a lot about that. It's hard, don't get me wrong, but it can get better. And I'm very happy with who I am. And honestly, despite the fact I can do the voices of many different characters and people, there's no one else I want to be. That's who I am. That's who I was put on in this world to be. And autism put me on that path to want to help people and to want to entertain. Whatever challenges you face, I hope you don't think that any challenge that you were born with or born into is your fault. It doesn't make you any less human. Maybe it can make you more. Maybe it's a test. I don't know. But I do know that who you were born as in this world is the person you're meant to be. And I hope you feel as comfortable with yourself as I've learned, and I'm still trying to be with myself. And speaking of which, before I go, there is one topic I'm going to cover for our next video. It will be a little, how do I put this? A little more detailed. And, well, it can be complicated. It can be hard to appreciate yourself, especially when there are parts of you that you may not like. Sometimes certain feelings can be hard to deal with or manage. And sometimes life is frustrating, and I understand that. I do. What's important is that we learn how to manage those feelings, is that we learn how to keep ourselves from making the choices that we don't want to do, that aren't who we are. The not us things, I guess you could say. You know, like me not doing a me thing. And, well, kind of applying that feeling into something more constructive or more helpful. And actually, and maybe even help us know our identity. And that's something I want to cover with you when we meet next time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.